What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a while since I did my last video. It's probably been about a week and a half or so, but I'm excited to be back. And this is episode 20, and I have a nice surprise for you guys this week. The whole week we have a talk every day because it is Virtual Horse Week, and today is episode 1. Day 1 of Virtual Horse Week. How's it going, everybody? This is Kevin, and welcome to Bay State After Hours. I know I've done a few horse ones in the past, but I've been getting a lot of requests about doing some more horse ones with some other companies as well. And you know what? I decided to do just a whole week about it. So with us today, we are going to be talking about working your the health and nutrition of your working horse. And with us, we have Amanda from Kent Nutrition. How's it going, Amanda?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself to start before we get into it?
Okay. So I just started pretty recently with Kent Nutrition Group. I have had my own performance horse for about 8 years now. I barrel race with my own horse, and you'll see some pictures of him in some slides today. I went to school at SUNY Cobleskill and got my bachelor's in animal science, concentrated equine. After that, I became a veterinary technician, and then I got this job, which I'm really excited about. Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Kent Nutrition? Well, when I say Kent Nutrition, obviously I mean Blue Seal. So why don't you explain that a little bit?
Right. Yeah. So Kent Nutrition Group it has both Blue Seal and it also has Kent Feeds. What they did as a company is kind of regionally focused. So Kent Feeds is more Midwest and Blue Seal is the Northeast. And Blue Seal has been around for over 150 years as a company, and they are family owned. So that is definitely pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah. So actually, we have customers who tell me all the time, because I might be a little bit too young for this. I don't know if any of our viewers remember this, but Blue Seal used to come down on like the train and come to certain areas, and they would hand unload the bags off of the train. Like, that's how far back we're talking as far as Blue Seal coming down to Massachusetts.
Right. So a lot of dealers are situated there, like on train tracks still because of that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. So before you begin, I'm just going to tell everybody that we're actually giving away a free bag of grain today as well. So Amanda's been nice enough to give away any Blue Seal grain today. So all you have to do is like this video, and then at midnight, we're going to be choosing a winner to win a free bag of grain. All right. So Amanda, if you want to get right into it, let's talk about the working horse.
All right, great. So feeding the working horse. So I'm going to start off talking about the extrusion process and benefits of our feed, the Sentinel line, then performance horse needs. Then after that, the Sentinel product line benefits and components, and then really what Blue Seal has to offer you and your horse. So to start, I want to start off with the extrusion process and benefits. A lot of times I get, so far at least, people saying, oh, that's the feed for seniors, which yes, it's definitely good because it's easier to chew. But it's not just for the senior horse, and I will get into that. So the extrusion process is pressure cooking. What they take is the ingredients and they mix them together, making a dough-like, just a dough that they press through dies, and that makes the shapes and sizes of the nuggets. Then they're cooled down to make those nuggets. So it's good because it helps with the natural feed intake. They chew slower than they would those little pellets. That increases saliva, production, which helps jumpstart the digestive process, obviously, since that's one of the first things in the digestive process, minimizing the incidence of choke because of the slower chew, and it takes less pressure to chew those compared to a pellet, and then just improving digestion in the foregut because of it being breaking down faster and easier. Then, so like I said, pre-breaking of starches and protein bonds. This is, the pre-start to the digestive process. I just figured I'd throw this kind of visual, starting off with starches and proteins. They're kind of bound tightly, and this cooking process starts to get them unwoven, in a sense, to get them more readily available for the horse faster. So with the nutrients being more available, they get more energy from less feed, and fewer soluble carbohydrates are passed to the hindgut, which in the hindgut is fermentation. So you're reducing the risk of gas colic, and just improving digestive efficiency. And then performance horse needs. So obviously, like any animal, water, protein, minerals, vitamins, fat, fiber, starches are the nutrients required. But those three, the starch, sugars, the fat, and fiber, are the ones that give the fuel to the body. And I'll get more into that when we're really talking about a horse that you're wanting to compete with. It's kind of a balancing with what you want to do with them, and I'll explain. So in this, I'm just showing, different types of performances need different primary feed sources for that energy. So a horse that's in more endurance, that long-term energy that they need, their primary thing that they're taking from is the fat and fibers, whereas a rodeo horse that is fast and quick and short-term, their primary for that activity is starch and sugars. Not saying that the rodeo horse, obviously throughout the week you are working them, longer than the event itself, for sure. So they're needing those other things, but it's just the balance different between those. Is there any questions yet? All right, I'm going to just continue. So benefits of fat, built-in fiber, and low starch and sugar. So fat provides a concentrated energy source and calorie source. So you could feed less grain rations with the added fat for a more natural feed intake. Then it also reduces the need for starches and sugars to maintain that body condition. So that leads to less digestive upsets, since it's more natural having that lower starch and sugar. And they're getting a calorie source if the horse has any metabolic issues, just as a side note. Two of them as an example, I figured I'd just throw up on here, is Performance LS and Active Senior, which is a new one for us. They both are a 12% fat, which is pretty high. Next is our built-in fiber in our feed. So fiber obviously is the horse's natural energy source, and we have a high level of it in those. This is just, maintaining healthy bacterial population and hindgut fermentation, and that helps as, buffering and things of that sort. And it's just the natural energy source. So two of them is Lifetime and Performance LS. Those are both just an example, because you could feed horses that could only have minimal amounts of hay, because they're 20% fiber, just to give an example, but all of them have built-in fiber in them. Then next is low starch and sugars. I threw the XT Pro and the Carb Guard on here because obviously Carb Guard is our tried and true, low starch and sugar. It just has a new, facelift as far as the bag. But that one, they both have less than 10% dietary starch plus sugars for that. But that, like I said, reflects a natural diet for the horse. Helps with the digestive tract functioning properly, minimizing gastric ulcers and colic, and as I said before, any metabolic concerns, that's where we're recommending. Other benefits. So this guy over here is my boy. He is 17. He is a paint. That's the one I barrel race with. I just threw this picture up here because of how shiny he looked that day. But he kind of always has that glow to him, which is pretty cool. But really just organic trace minerals or chelated trace minerals. They are trace minerals that are attached to amino acids so that they're more readily available for the horse to digest easier or absorb easier. And just benefits from trace minerals are immune response and hoof health. Obviously, you don't have a horse if you don't have a hoof, so that's important. Reproductive, if you have a breeding program with your horses, especially if they are performance, they have a good pedigree or good show record, that's those things to consider. And joint, obviously, and the skin and hair coat. Was there any questions before I continue?
No, there wasn't any question. Sorry.
Okay.
The first time I thought I had my mic on, I'm sitting here talking and I'm
Oh no. Oh no, it's terrible.
Oh my word. No, there's no questions yet. So obviously anybody who's watching, if you have a question, feel free to comment it. And also we have more viewers right now than we do likes. So if you want to be entered to win that free bag of grain, you got to like the video, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. I can see it all. So if you like it, you're entered to win. All right. I'll let you go, Amanda.
All right. Sounds good. So next, just quickly, selenium yeast and natural vitamin E. So selenium yeast is more bioavailable for the horse, and natural vitamin E more potent and bioavailable as well. Vitamin E, as we know, helps with nerve and muscle function, and they work together as antioxidants. Omega fatty acids, so these come from flaxseed and soybean oil in our Sentinel line, and that just really benefits the whole body wellness and immune function, our immune system. So, inflammatory responses, skin, hair, and coat, normal brain function, all those things. So this I'm really excited to kind of go over is our GutWise technology, and I'll kind of wrap it up at the end slide as well with a more explanation. So just to start, we all know that show horses, race horses, there is a pretty high percentage of horses that are affected by gastric ulcers, even if we aren't fully aware, because not everybody is scoping their horse, especially because sometimes, a lot of times, horses aren't showing these signs. It's kind of going under the radar. So just to go over the stomach a little bit, the stomach continuously secretes 24/7 acid because horses are constant grazers. Well, when your horse is going certain amounts of lengths of time not eating this, not having that hay or whatever the case may be, isn't neutralizing that acid. So, there's less of a chance of the bottom portion of the stomach getting any ulcers for the fact that it's lined with that mucus because it's designed to have that acid there. But there is a chance. What's more prevalent is in that top portion of the stomach where it's designed to be mixing the content that you find the gastric ulcers. Things that could lead to ulcers, again, as we know, I just figured I'd throw it up on here, is stall confinement, horses going long times without access to the feed, stress, mentally, loading up on the trailer, going to new places, just everyday things that we ask our horses to do, physical, going through, heavy exercise each week, etc. So what GutWise technology is, it's a proprietary blend of digestive and nutritional additives to help support the gut health of the horse. So NutriVantage is in this, marine source calcium, pre and probiotics, and butyric acid and zinc. So NutriVantage is our proprietary freshwater reed sedge peat, which is just a blend of organic acids, trace minerals, antioxidants, and chelating agents. This is helping nutrients be more available, reducing the effects of stress, and promoting gut health in that environment. Marine source calcium. So this is from marine algae. It improves calcium absorption, and it helps with gastric buffering and pH regulation. As far as pH goes, what I like to just think of is, even down to an example would be like your soil pH. If certain things grow with different pHs, so in the gut we want a certain pH so that good bacteria grows and bad bacteria is not welcome or as welcome, versus when the pH is not regulated to the normal, then you're having bad bacteria grow. And it's was shown to help with equine ulcers. Probiotics, so that's a blend of live beneficial microorganisms. Just to kind of tie up that part, it is giving good bacteria, bringing good bacteria in at the expense of the bad bacteria. So it's trying to crowd out that bad bacteria that damages the gut lining so that the good bacteria could be there and support the gut health. Prebiotics is yeast culture, brewer's yeast, and the yeast extract. That is just balancing microbes. It's helping with GI efficiency and helping the gut lining and its integrity. Uric acid and zinc. So that's a powerful combination of organic acid and trace minerals. Again, help strengthen that intestinal tract. What you see as that visual is just gut cells for that lining. When you have the leaky gut syndrome, you could see that there's kind of spaces in between where things could leak out into the bloodstream and things like that. So it's just trying to strengthen that junction and help with intestinal lining, which is important. So before I go on to what we have for your performance horse, was there any questions in any of those?
No, doesn't look like it. Looks like we're still doing good.
Good. All right.
Looks like
Hopefully I'm just answering those questions before they go on the screen.
No, you're doing great.
All right. So I'm just going to go into that extrude line. This is our there's two new products, the Active Senior and the Simply Light, and then some of the more known products. They just have a little bit of a facelift. You might not have seen some of these bags yet, like the LS and the Senior. Should be still in the older bags. They'll be changing soon. So if you haven't seen them yet, that's what they look like. So to start, this is Sentinel Safe Start. It's 16% protein, 8.5% fat, and 12% fiber. This is for healthy foal growth, lactating mares, but it's also for the show horses who need some muscle mass to help with that top line and coat condition. So this is definitely a good option. These ones for, that are also for full growth and things of that sort are going to have a little more of the starches and sugars. They're still low starch and sugars, but just increase versus the ones that are more geared towards metabolic conditions. So for horses that need that as far as their performance, this would be geared towards that. Another one, Grow and Excel. So that Excel is really for the show side of part of that. So it's a 14% protein, 10% fat, and 15% fiber. It's to help support growth all the way into performance and last trimester of pregnant mares, lactating mares, and breeding stallions. I just want to clarify the pregnant mares and things of that sort. The reason why you're saying last trimester and things is they should stay on the feed that they're on, staying constant as you would feed normally up until that last trimester into lactating, because they need what they normally need in the beginning. And then towards the end, when the foal is really growing and they're getting ready for lactation and then they are lactating, that's when they need that extra. But up until then, they should stay as normal, so you're not feeding overly so they don't gain any. We don't want, overweight horse trying to full out. That could lead to complications. So just a side note there. Sentinel Lifetime, this is a 13.5% protein, 10% fat, and 20% fiber. So this is one of them that I talked about. If it was an older horse, that's just a side note. But this has glucosamine and chondroitin in it to help support joint health and high fat and fiber. And like I said, could be fed with minimal hay. So yeah, let's see. Performance is the 12% protein, 12% fat, and 20% fiber. Definitely for equine athletes that need a little bit more calorie intake, being the high fat and fiber. So definitely a good option. I know this one's a pretty well-known one. Sentinel Senior, 14.5% protein, 5.5% fat, and 17% fiber. I put this on here. Obviously, I'm going to put all of them on here. This definitely lower fat than some of the others, but not every performance horse is going to need all that as well, especially depending on hay sourcing and things of that sort. So this is definitely an option for some still. But obviously, I forgot to say at the bottom, if they're in heavy exercise or hard keepers, then we're going into the Active Senior, our new one. And here we are. So Active Senior, that's a 14% protein, 12% fat, and 16% fiber. Don't let it fool you with the senior part. Even a performance horse that's not senior could benefit from this. If they're not getting as good of quality of hay, this is a good option, but it could really benefit, hard keepers could really benefit from this, or senior horses in work that just need that extra energy long-term, basically, and to help with filling out and keeping them at a good weight. Then Sentinel Simply Light, so it's a 13% protein, 3.5% fat, and 17.5% fiber. So this one is definitely for the easy keepers, the ponies, the minis you got that don't need any additional calories for maintenance, just to sustain. So definitely a good option. I'm glad that it's available as far as that. Any questions on that line? All right, so
there we go. Man, okay. I keep messing it up.
You're fine.
It's almost like it's my first day doing this or something. It's only been 20 episodes. It's totally fine. Right. Oh my word. Yeah, no, everything's still going well. Okay. Once again, we still have more viewers than we do likes. So if you want to win that bag, you got to like the video. Also, for those who've been watching through the whole thing, we have a special deal that we're going to do on Sentinel at the end of this. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and I'll let you keep going, Amanda.
All right, sounds good. So this is our Sentinel XT line. So this is a high fat and fiber textured feed. It has a base of shredded beet pulp and extruded nuggets in it as well. So XT Pro is a 14% protein, 10% fat, and 17% fiber, really for the growing performance, gestating mares and breeding horses, whether it be the stallions or even senior horses. So depending, if you ever have any questions, which I'll show my information at the end, but if we need to kind of brainstorm together, depending on your horse, don't hesitate to reach out. There's a lot of options that we could utilize. I think that's the best part of this. So we could find the right fit for your horse. Next is XT Show. So that is a 12% protein, 12% fat, and a 15% fiber. Definitely for the active adult horse or even the hard keepers that need a little more calorie intake to stay at that weight that you want. And then XT Grow. So 16% protein, 10% fat, 17% fiber for the growing foals, lactating mares, growing horses and seniors, also for those show horses that need help with their top line and shine. All right, so super excited about this. This is our Sentinel Care line. So this is our top line 30. This is similar to, if anybody knows, our Sunshine Plus. However, that is for multi-species, whereas this is more specified for the horse. So this is a ration balancer supplement, or it could be top dressed on a feed. When you're top dressing, that's really for horses that aren't getting the suggested minimum of feed of a product, and you just need those additional amino acids, minerals, and vitamins. Then you would put that on top, and the feeding amounts are on there. And if anything, I have them as well for all of these, obviously. Sentinel Care Omega-10, so that is a high fat supplement. It's a 20% fat, and it's balanced, so you can add it to the ration easily, and it's really to help maintain or gain body condition without increasing the grain ration crazy. Instead of just trying to add more and more, you're going to have this to top it off and help out with that. Then we have the Carb Guard, just to throw in there for metabolic horses and things, but it's a 12% protein, 8% fat, and a 25% fiber. Definitely also for horses that, there's a 25% fiber, so it's pretty high fiber amount. Then Sentinel Care Gastric Support. So this is what I meant about the whole tying up thing with our gut wise. So this is new and it's very exciting. This has the gut wise formula. So it's a pre and probiotics, it's marine source calcium, it's a Nutrivantage and the butyric acid and zinc. So it's what all of these have. So if you have a horse that's on our Sentinel and is getting fed the appropriate recommendation for feed intake, then it depends on what your horse needs. So if it's just a maintenance to help for prevention, and also depending on the horse, but you could be feeding in the morning their ration normally. Say your horse is on LS, so you give the recommended amount of LS. Then midday, when you throw them some hay, then you could throw them whatever the recommended is. For a 1,000-pound horse, it's a cup of this gastric support at that time of day. And then Nighttime, same thing. You go to give them their LS, they are getting that amount as long as they're getting fed the appropriate amount for their weight and exercise level. And then horses in stressful situations, just a stressed out horse or a horse that is traveling a lot, things of that sort, then doing it one more time, giving them that cup or whatever the case may be for the weight. At their night check, basically, you could give that then. So definitely really good. And if you weren't feeding Sentinel and you wanted just this, then you could be top dressing your feed with this supplement the 3 to 4 times a day as well as an option to get that gastric support. All right, so thank you guys for joining us. And this is my contact information. So that's my cell phone. You could text it, you could call it. That is also my email for work. You know, any product questions, recommendations, you want me to come out to your barn, go over, you know, what your horses are getting fed. I could do hay testing and send that out to the lab, see what your horses are getting for hay, like with their nutrition. And we have nutritionists, you know, on board that formulate these feeds. And I could always reach out to them if it was a question that I just wasn't sure of. We have them available as well. And if you can't reach me, then there's customer service. So I would just take a picture of that if you wanted. But yeah, and there's my horse again. That was at, I'm in Connecticut, so that was at Goshen Fair just last Monday. So
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. I didn't know you guys did hay testing too. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we send it out and cover it so it's free to the customer. And I actually just got all the stuff in. Finally today, I got like the paperwork and stuff from the lab, so I'm set to go to do it.
and I'm assuming you guys do it properly too, like you use the probe, right? Because a lot of places, so we've dealt in the past with people who've done hay testing, but they just grab it right from the top and they, you know, not like that. You got to use the probe. You got to get everything from the center out.
Right,
know?
And I got
that.
I got a 2-foot probe as well, just in case anybody was feeding around bales and stuff. You're getting enough of a, you know, sample, like a good sample through that, and I could go through them and then send it out. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So obviously, if anybody wants Amanda to come out to your barn, you could also reach out to me and we can set it up very easily. Actually, I think you're coming out our way in a couple weeks, so might be able to set up a couple of barn calls and you can go out and check them out.
That'd be awesome.
Does anybody have any questions? No problem, Melissa. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, as always. And I'm glad you figured out how to like the video. So hopefully, you know, maybe you'll win the bag of grain today. Doesn't look like we have any questions.
Okay.
So with that, I think it's time for us to talk about what our deal is going to be for tonight. So as everyone knows, we always run a deal from the end of the video until midnight. And today is going to be a special one. Amanda really, really went all out for us on this one. So we are going to do $7 off any 2 bags of Sentinel tonight only. And it's limited also. Not only is it tonight only, but it is also limited. So as soon as the deal is over, it's going to be over, whether it's at midnight or before midnight. You want to make sure that you get on top of that and make this is a good time to stock up on a couple of extra bags of grain. So one last call for any questions. If not, then thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And we before the live stream, actually, we were talking about you doing another video for dog food for the and dog food. So that'll be exciting. So So if anybody is interested in that, just send me an email. And what I'll do is I will push out an email to you as soon as Amanda and I come up with a date. Maybe we'll do like a dog week, you know?
That would be cool. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people would like that. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it as always. So we're going to run this video up until midnight for you to be able to win that free bag of grain. So you can like this video up until midnight tonight, and it's the 13th of September. So up until the 13th of September, you have until midnight to like this video to enter to win the free bag of grain. Also, you can get the $7 off the 2 bags of Sentinel Senior, not Sentinel Senior, any Sentinel, BayStatePet.com. And I think that's everything. I think I told you guys everything. So if you have any questions, as always, my name is Kevin. Kevin@BayStatePet.com is my email. And Amanda gave you all her information, and I think we're good. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you for another one tomorrow.